Is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only, joined back by Miss Patti Stanger.
Hey, happy Valentine's Day, people.
Listen, we are in. I'm taking off my watch. I mean, listen.
We're getting casual here. Everybody's drinking these watermelon Celsiuses. By the way, they're delicious. You know, for us to be Red Bullers and like saying, okay, we'll try a Celsius. It's delicious, but you should be sponsoring David's show, by the way.
Listen, now that I split my time between LA and New York, we are like fast friends.
Well, because
I
made you come to LA. Tell them how I made you come to LA.
Patti is like, listen, if you're serious about the business, you need to be on. You know what? As usual, you were right.
Who said to expand your branches and not just do Bravo, but do celebrities like authors and actors and musicians? Who did that? Even the old and the young, you know?
I'm
his booker, basically, people.
This is all from COVID, people. All from COVID.
We talked every day in COVID. We were going insane, the two of us.
Well, listen, I really need to say congratulations, first of all, on Compel.
Oh, thank you.
It's a book.
Yeah, and it's doing really well. I never self-published a book before, and I have a really good friend who's a New York Times bestselling author, Rachel Van Dyken. She writes 30 books a year. She's in her 30s. She used to be an English teacher. She writes for imprints, but then she also has her own. And she said, do you want to write a couple books with me? And in quarantine, I was obsessed. You know, Netflix is my real boyfriend. Don't tell my boyfriend, David. But I watched so much Supernatural. My head was exploding, and I love it. And I love romance. Like, you know, Sex Life is coming out March 2nd. Plug to that. But I was like, let's write a romantic, sexual, hot romance for summer. And then she said, well, let's bring it in Valentine's Day. So it's out. You go to my bio, Patti Stanger in Instagram, and you can click the button. It'll take you right to Amazon. We're in Kindle right now. The soft cover comes out next week, and then the hardcover after that. But I mean, most people read on their phones right now. Really?
I mean, I don't know. When you said you wrote a book, you've written other books. I thought it was more matchmaking advice. And then I'm like,
it's got, you know, I'm
sex.
a Wiccan witch. Everybody doesn't know that I'm a white witch, which doesn't mean I am black or white color. I am a white witch, which means I help people. I'm of the light. So There's witchcraft in it. There's supernatural elements. There is this true thing. When we were searching for something that could stop aging or anti-age you backwards, like Benjamin Button, there's this thing called andromacrane. And we had put it in the book, and we didn't know that it was real. And then we found out what we were talking about. If you go down Reddit, it's a rabbit hole for those who are conspiracy people about how the Illuminati, the elite, stay very young, or they live to like 100. Hello, Queen Elizabeth. And, you know, how do they do that when they're drinking, you know, gin and tonics every night?
How?
Well, andromacrane. So you're going to have to read the book. And it's just book one. There will be a series. We hope to sell it to the screen. We are selling one of her series called The Dark Ones. We're working with Evan Tyler, who did Van Helsing. And if you were a fan of hers, Rachel Van Dyken, you'll know about that. And it's about all these supernatural beings that fall in love with a girl, and she breeds children for them. And it's a very famous series called The Dark Ones, and we're bringing that to screen.
You're really into the supernatural.
I really am, but I'm also doing scripted stuff. There's a show coming out based on my life when I'm 16, and my grandmother and my mother are matchmakers in Jersey. So I've been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes producing. That's one of the reasons I took the break. You know, I didn't get fired from Bravo. I didn't get fired from We. Both of them offered me contracts. I wanted to go and produce movies, and my agent said, you're nuts. And I ended up doing 4 movies for Hallmark and learning how to produce scripted. Because I went to film school, and I really wanted to do that. And so most people do not leave. I could have had a 3rd season on Million Dollar Matchmaker, and I was like, I'm going to take a break. I don't really think it's the right network, and I think I want to redo the system. And now we're working on a new reality series. So cross your fingers, people. It's coming. I waited for the right moment. I know that love is on fire, and Netflix is really pushing it hard. And I'm really proud of Netflix, because people thought after Bachelor, after Matchmaker, the love industry was dead. And when Love Island popped up on the scene in the UK and kind of brought it back, Netflix went hard. And a lot of the executives are ex-Bravo. So thank you, Netflix.
I think Netflix, just in general, to me, like Bling Empire,
Yeah.
they're killing
they're
it.
really
They're
killing
it.
And you wouldn't think in reality. Now, Hulu's going to come from behind. Hulu's working on a lot of projects. And we found out today that Paramount, which a lot of my friends are working on, are doing the new Stallone series with his daughters. So, it's not just a Bravo E Road. There's a lot more networks that are getting in the game. Amazon, Jeff Lewis, like #1 at Amazon on his new show. So I'm really grateful for the streamers that they're really taking us seriously, reality stars. We thought we were just here for 5 minutes, and now we've created a whole industry.
Do you know what I heard? You might have, because you tell me so many things. You might have been the one who told me this. Did you hear that the CW is
Yes,
like...
I can't tell you anything about that. Shh.
Oh,
but the CW is
Sorry.
really working hard on bringing you some really great unscripted.
See, I didn't know you're the one that told me. I'm like, whoops, okay.
It's going to come out. But what I like about it is that the networks have looked at the bottom dollar, and they can't always afford scripted. They're overproducing. We've seen budget cuts. We've seen the employees go away, like Netflix and Amazon. And then other networks are going, well, where's the money? And they're like, hey, these kids, these unknowns are becoming stars. Like for, Love is Blind, Married at First Sight. 90 Day Fiance. Darcy was on my show, Millionaire Matchmaker. I created that girl before she brought her sister on. And so now they're seeing that the money's really in reality, and they're deciding to realign their budgets and change their networks to put their money where where people want to see it. We want to see real people, which is kind of exciting. Not that I don't love scripted. I'm a scripted addict.
Real people on reality TV. What a novel concept.
David calls me every day. Every time Page 6 announces, is Real Housewives of New York City really going away? What did Jill say? He does that all day long to me. And I'm like, calm down. It's probably the money is being an issue, but I have a feeling it's not dead.
Really?
I feel like I think they're going to see what the new one does, and then after the new one airs, if it makes its grade, because they're younger girls. They're all unknowns. You know them from their industries, but Lizzie being an influencer is only there. She left for 5 hot minutes. And then,
Jenna
Lyons, who's lesbian, and ran J. Crew. By the way, I loved their jewelry. Jenna, you did a great job on that. And so you're going to see different kinds of people. If they can hold their own like Utah did, Salt Lake, then I think they'll go back and say, because come on, we are the OGs. And, Jeff and I have been talking, and we said there should be a friends trip with everybody on Bravo who had their own show, like Jackie Warner and Tabatha and Jonathan. We should all go away together and create a whole new thing. Because it doesn't always have to be Housewives.
Well, when Tabatha was here, I said to her, I brought that exact point up, and I said, who would you like in your house? So since you brought this up, who would you like in your friend's house? I think it's a great idea.
I don't know if the only thing I was thinking, do you take a housewife like Kim Zolciak? I would take, because I'm friends with her, and put her in the house because she had her own show too. Clearly Bethany doesn't want to come back. She could have been there too. She had her own show. But I think it should be all the originals who had their own show. Even if it was Paula Abdul one season, which David is dying. Paula, who's a friend.
When Patti and I talked about this off air, and she was giving me her list, and I'm like, okay, she's like, Paula. I'm like, yes.
She had one season.
Yeah,
and she was
counts.
Remember, she was exhausted. And her ex-manager is my manager and my friend, so Larry. And so I said, okay, that'd be really cool. Can you imagine Jeff and Paula? That'd be amazing, by the way. And Jeff Lewis and